Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Power Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright? Now look, this one gonna be about how everybody said I changed. And guess what? They was right. I did. Alright? So, before I went to prison and everything, right? I was the gang banging street thug, right? I was with all the shits. I wanted all the smoke. I was with all the problems. I was the crash out. I was the enforcer. I was the security. I was the front row center seat, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? I was the one everybody called when something popped off. I was the one that handled every situation that happened around me and my crew. I was the one that told people that was against my guys, hey, if you want to deal with them, you got to come through me. So everybody that didn't like the guys that I rolled with, they knew that if they wanted any smoke with them, they had to deal with me first. So I was the type that didn't play about mines. You know what I'm saying? And every pretty much gang, crew, clique, all of that shit, you got one of them type of guys out of every crew. If you don't, then your crew not strong. Cause you gotta have one of the guys that stand out. And I was the guy that stood out, right? So anyway, with that being said, every time we'd go out and go to parties and shit like that, if anything popped off, I wasn't having it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't gonna lie, some of my guys in my crew, they wasn't really cut like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was extra hard on them. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew that if something popped off, I knew that they wouldn't be able to handle it because that wasn't their thing. So I had to step up 2 steps for guys like that in my crew. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, at the end of the day, I was Mr. Crash Out, right? I was ready to go to war for mine, about mine at any given moment. You know what I'm saying? Well, here it is. I caught my case. Now, I told you how I caught my case. I was robbing some shit. Some of the ops seen what I was doing. They ended up shooting me the fuck up right in the middle of a robbery, right? So after that shit happened, I went to the hospital. When I went to the hospital, I had got shot 7 times. I went to the hospital. They patched me up. Usually when people get shot, especially that many times, you will be in the hospital for a couple months, couple of weeks, at least a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? I was only in there a couple of hours. No lie. They patched me up. They got me right up out of there. The same car I got shot up in, I jumped back in that car. Boom. I was back out here on the streets like ain't nothing happened. So, soon as that happened, I was on some Tupac shit. Like, I couldn't be touched. You know, it is what it is, right? So I'm right back out here in the streets. I'm riding around looking for these niggas and everything. I'm pulling up on their mans and them. I'm like, hey, you know, where your boys at? Because, of course, I got word on who it was, you know. So I'm riding around looking for them niggas. Where they at? Mind you, I just got hit up and everything in the same car I got shot up in and all of that. So, like I said, I was Mr. Crash Out, for real. You know what I'm saying? Well, exactly 7 days after I got shot up, I caught my case. So now I'm behind the walls, right? While I'm behind the walls, I'm like, okay, cool. I got my crew out here. I know they gonna support me and hold me down while I'm in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? I don't got nothing to worry about. Well, time going on. Ain't nobody reaching out. Ain't nobody fucking with me. Ain't nobody sending me nothing. I don't hear nothing from the outside. I'm just in there fighting my case. And ain't nobody fucking with me. Ain't nobody coming to my court dates. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was like I was just a complete nobody no more, right? So fast forward to tape. I lost my case. I went to prison, right? So I'm about a year and a half in jailing slash prison at this point, right? Well, while I'm in prison, I run into an old head named Doc. And I done told y'all about Doc. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the old heads that that was oversighting my crew, pretty much. You know. And in prison, you kind of like got one of them type of guys out of all of the YNs. Every YN pretty much they got their own OG that oversight their crew. If you and your guys was some prominent guys, you know what I'm saying? You had an OG that oversighted your crew. It's very structured in there. You know what I'm saying? So basically, if you a YN with your YNs, y'all need a OG to oversight your crew because sometimes you can get into it with some OGs in there. You know what I'm saying? And basically, you need an OG to step in to handle a situation if you get into it with one of the OGs. You know, well, Doc was the OG of our crew that oversighted us. We was all in like our early to mid 20s. Doc, he was like mid 50s. So he had a good 30 years on us. You know what I'm saying? But he loved our crew. He loved how we jammed together. He loved how all of us was going home at around the same time and you know how we was all building together and you know things like that. So Doc got attached to our crew. You know what I'm saying? And Doc was a real OG. He done been up in there 3, 4 times. You know what I'm saying? So he got seniority in prison because he done been there a few times. You know, and he older. So all the OGs they knew him. He was well respected. He handled his business in there. All of that shit. Basically, he was on retirement mode by the time me and my crew bumped into him. So he was oversighting us, you know what I'm saying? Giving us game, you know, trying to tell us how to go about life, things like that, right? Well, one day I'm just sitting at the table by myself in the day room, right? I'm just sitting there thinking, you know, about the streets, like, damn, you know, ain't nobody fucking with me. Why ain't nobody sending me shit? You know, what the fuck is going on out here? You know, like after everything I was doing, I'm putting my life on the line for these guys, all type of shit. Like, ain't nobody fucking with me. What the fuck happened? You know, Doc came and sat down across from me in the day room. It's a circle table. It's a straight steel circle table, and then you got 4 steel circle seats that's connected to the table. So 4 guys can sit at a table, right? Doc came and sat right across from me. He like, what's going on, youngin? Woo woo. I'm like, man, I don't understand, you know, what happened to the guys. Like, you know, ain't nobody fucking with me or nothing. Like, what the fuck is going on, you know? He like, look, man, he like, you know, that's life. He like, you know, sometimes it just be like that. Sometimes you be the one that put out all the work for your crew, and then something like this happen and it show you that your crew really ain't your crew, you know? And we was going over all of that type of talk, you know, different topics about how I should handle my situation when I do finally get out of prison, right? And he opened my eyes to a lot, you know. So while we was in the middle of talking about that, you know, he was asking me why I rep my block so hard. You know what I'm saying? So I told him, I'm like, you know, it's the block. This is where we came from. I grew up on that block. Me and my homies, we all grew up together on that bitch. Like, it's the block. You know what I'm saying? I'm down for this shit. He had hit me with a cold line right before we wrapped up our conversation, right? He like, if you die right now, will that block shut down for you in your memory? I was like, damn, hell nah. He was like, while you in here doing your time, is that block on pause, waiting on you to get out? I'm like, damn, hell nah, you know? He was like, there you have it. He got up from the table. He slapped the table. You know what I'm saying? he like, hey, there you have it. So I understood exactly where he was coming from with that. I need to let it go. So within the next couple of months, I started transitioning. I started growing up. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. Like when you see what's some things they call they morphing and shit, and they changing and growing and shit like that. It's like that's what I was going through. Like I was morphing, you know what I'm saying? Like I was growing, like I was breaking out of a shell that I was in to growing to something bigger, right? And that's exactly what was going on. So basically, I'm in prison morphing at this time, you know. Also, when time go on, you start getting older, you start getting wiser, you start learning different things, you start maturing more. That with timing and me morphing from distancing myself away from my crew and, growing up from that crash out world into becoming a man, right? While all this going on, I woke up one day and I said, you know what? That shit over with. I stopped gang banging. I stopped hood banging. I stopped block banging. Told y'all before I was banging 3 ways. I stopped all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that, I'm changing my ways. I'm not hanging out with the same guys on the yard that I was hanging out with. I'm not thinking the same. I'm not on the same shit. I get into it with somebody, I let them have it. Usually when I'm always on going, I'm ready to go ahead and handle that. I'm like, hey, you know what? You got it. You right. I let this shit go, right? So, okay, here we go. Fast forward to tape now. I get my parole. I get out of prison, right? Told you the whole 4 years I did. None of my homies was there. Wasn't nobody fucking with me. I just had a couple of females that was writing me and shit. Now, I had 3 guys that fucked with me while I was gone. My daddy, my cousin B, and my little homie Dre. All 3 of them died in the same year, 2013. All 3 of them died in the same year. So after that, I ain't had nobody else fucking with me or none of that, far as men. And I done had a crew of niggas, 30 niggas, you know what I'm saying? And out of 30 niggas, only 1 was rocking with me, which was Lil Dre. Lil B, B, he was my cousin, and my daddy. So I only had 1 guy on my crew that was rocking with me. And he died while I was in there, you know what I'm saying? Well, when I get out, right, didn't nobody even know I was out. This how you know wasn't nobody fucking with me. Because didn't nobody even know I was out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a free man and don't nobody know it. When all the motherfucker got to do is look you up on Otis.com and they can see when you get your parole, your release date, all of that, right? Ain't nobody even know I was out because wasn't nobody checking for me. I was a lost soul. I was a nobody no more, right? That's cool. I done matured. I done grew out that shit. I done left it alone anyway. You know what I'm saying? So while I'm out, it literally took for me to have to post a picture on Facebook. I posted a picture on Facebook. Here come all the comments. Oh man, welcome home, my nigga. Woo, woo, woo. Hit my line. Call me. Blah, blah, blah. People all in my Facebook Messenger dropping their numbers. Call me right now. Hit me up. Damn it back. Damn it back. I'm just watching all the comments and the inboxes. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't getting that type of love when I was gone. But it's all right, So I hit a couple people back. What's up? They like, man, where you at? About to come get you right now. Blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. I'm fresh out of prison. I need to get out. I need to get some fresh air. You know what I'm saying? So guys come get me. Take me here, take me there. Ain't nobody buy me shit. Ain't nobody do nothing. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just, going out partying, drinking, smoking, bringing me around people I ain't seen in a while. Shit like that, right? Whole time, I'm pretty much like side-eyeing everybody. Like, where the fuck was y'all at? You know what I'm saying? So, I'm giving people their time and grace to tell me where they was at. Don't nobody got nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? So I started cracking on everybody. Where the fuck was you at? What was going on? I ain't heard nothing from you. Oh, bro, man, times was crazy, man. We was fucked up, this and that, bro. Everybody had excuses, right? Okay, cool. All of y'all up. Why don't somebody look out for me? Hey, I'm fresh out. I don't got shit. I literally came home to nothing. You know how people would come home to clothes, shoes, a couple dollars, things like that. I came home to absolutely nothing. I came home to one outfit, one pair of shoes. It wasn't even a pair of shoes, it was a pair of boots. Timberland, Euro hiker Timberland boots. And one outfit. That's what I came home to. So I had to build my life up from one outfit. No lie. None of my homies came through with nothing. None of that shit. And all these niggas was up. They was all up, doing good. You know what I'm saying? But they playing to me like they don't got shit. But they want to turn up every day. Get drunk. Get high. And it wasn't like it was just for all of us. They had their own turn up. This was like turn up for me type shit. Like, fuck that turn up shit. You could just give me the cash so I could build on my own. Well, nobody do that. Everybody was like, it was like crabs in a barrel. You know what I'm saying? They was keeping me down to a certain level type shit, right? That's fine because again, during my time, I morphed out of that crash out situation. So I'm just paying attention. I went over everything Doc was telling me while I was in there. Plus, I matured and grew up some anyway. This is 4 years later. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just watching everything. I'm like, okay, cool. Bet. I'm like, none of these motherfuckers better not ever hit me up and say, hey, I need woo woo. Hey, we got to do woo woo. Blah, blah, blah going on. Don't ever hit my line on none of that, right? Guess what happened? People started hitting my line. Oh, man, this and this going on. That and that going on. I'm smoking everything. Nah, I'm cool. I ain't fucking with it. I'm straight. Oh, man, you changed, man. You ain't the same no more. What you mean I changed? Oh, man, you just ain't down with the same things no more. Woo, woo, woo. Sure not. You right, I'm not. I used to crash out for y'all. And y'all left me for dead. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine if I get some more time and I got to go back to prison again. Y'all gonna leave me hanging again. Why would I be condoning in the type of shit y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to go hang out at these after hour bars and all that shit where it's bound for something to happen. But y'all know I be on go. So y'all want me to go to these after hours and shit because y'all know if something pop up, y'all know I'ma jump up. Nah, we ain't doing that no more. Y'all get into it with somebody. Y'all got a situation going on. They calling me, hey, ooh, such and such, blah, blah, blah. Nah, I'm not getting involved in it. I got shit to do. So everybody's saying I changed because I wasn't down for the shit that they had going on, the things that they wanted to do. I wasn't down for that no more. You know what I'm saying? You changed, bro. You ain't the same no more. Sure not. So guess what? They start distancing themselves away from me. Damn. Oh, now y'all changed up on me because y'all see that I didn't grew up and I don't be on that shit no more that y'all be on. So now y'all bagging away from me. That's fine because y'all bagged away from me when I went to prison anyway. Now that I'm back, now y'all want to be around me. Now y'all want to do shit with me. Now y'all want to play this gang shit all of a sudden, right? When y'all didn't even know I was out. I literally had to say something on Facebook for y'all to even knew that I was out. So I was a complete nobody to y'all. But now that I'm back, y'all expected me to be on that same type of time zone that I was on before I got locked up. Well, guess what? If you was there for me while I was locked up, you would have understood that I was morphing while I was in there. And you would have been there for my change. And you would have accepted that and you would have rolled with it. But you wasn't. You was out here living your life. When I got locked up, you was like, oh, fuck that nigga. He ain't around no more to be there for whatever we got going on. Fuck him. Sometimes prison is a good thing. And for me, it was. Because if I didn't go, I would have still been on crash out mode. Which means I'd probably be dead by now. Or would have caught a way bigger bit, doing way more time. Because I was on that type of time for my crew. You know what I'm saying? So, with prison happening to me, getting my short bit like I needed, you know what I'm saying, to grow me up and get me out the way, it was perfect, man. And everybody said I changed. And they was right. I did. You know what I'm saying? I grew up. And after that, I started having kids. And I really changed after that. Motherfuckers ain't even hear from me no more when I had kids. You know what I'm saying? It was like, God was like, all right, you learned your lesson. Here you go. Here goes some blessings for you. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn my lessons first. Then I got my blessings. I got my daughters. You know what I'm saying? So I give my daughters, my whole life changed. Now I don't even see these guys no more. You know, they was distancing themselves at first. But then after I had kids and I'm like, hey, look, I ain't gonna be hanging around at all no more. I got kids now. You know what I'm saying? When that happened, people stopped calling my phone. People stopped talking to me. They stopped interacting with me on the internet. All type of shit. Now it's to a point where it's like, I don't even know these guys no more. And I got pictures with them. You know what I'm saying? We done hung out. We done went all type of places. Did all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like all that shit went down the drain. It don't mean nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't on crash out mode no more. So all that told me was that they was just using me. I was just a commodity for the circle at that point. But once I lost my freedom, I was a nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? This is what a lot of y'all guys need to understand about the streets, especially to the guys that's like me. That's the enforcer, the security, the crash out, the front row center seat guys. Y'all need to listen up, because guess what? You the chosen one out your crew. That's why you got so much energy and so much go, because you the chosen one. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? You need to take that energy that you got and invest it into yourself. Stop investing it into these other guys. Because guess what? The only thing they care about is you protecting them. They don't have no protection for you. I explained all this in this video, how these same guys, and mind you, these ain't no guys that I just met a few years ago. I went to high school with. These is guys that I was sandboxed with, 5, 6 years old with type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I've been knowing these guys my whole life, and they've been knowing me they whole life. You know what I'm saying? But all along, they looking at me like, yeah, that nigga the crash out. He the one that's gonna go ahead and take care of it. Call him when something happen. Something happened to him, fuck him. He dead weight now. And that's exactly what it was, man. I became dead weight to my own crew that I held down for 20 years until something happened to me. And they showed me that I wasn't to them what they was to me. You know what I'm saying? So I needed that prison time to grow up, and it changed me. And everybody recognized they seen it. So they started saying that I changed. And I recognized that in myself too, because I wasn't down with what they was down with. I had to morph. And I did. I grew into a whole new person. And they didn't like it. And they proved it by distancing themselves away from me. all in all, it was something that I needed anyway. You know what I'm saying? I needed to know what was around me. I needed to know that I keep putting my life on the line for some people that really don't care about me, that probably wouldn't even show up to my funeral. You know what I'm saying? Let alone contribute anything to my family or anything if something did happen to me. It took just a couple of years in prison for me to notice about some guys that I've been holding down for 20 years. 4 years in prison showed me that what I was holding down for 20 years wasn't what I thought it was. Hopefully this message reached y'all to teach you that the thing about life is time keep going. Time goes on. Time don't stop because you a YN with your YNs and y'all doing YN shit. Time keep going. You keep progressing. You keep learning. You mature. You start growing out of different things. And if you crash out before you can get to that point, you ain't gonna never know. So hopefully this reached some of y'all YNs right now that's on that enforcer tip. Let me tell you right now, man, you will lose your life behind your crew and they won't be there for you, man. So before you get in too deep, get out. It's been another episode of Roll Up a Power Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.